Welcome to episode 12 of Drew's Basketball Crew here on this Sunday morning. Myself, Drew Skyberg, bringing you your winning lineup on Fantasia Sports, and saved it for the weekend. So I'd mentioned that in last week's episode is probably going to be the case here. And, I think it's going to pay off here. There's a lot of good games today, and it's going to be an exciting slate overall. And then on top of that, I'll do all the announcements right now, right? I mean, lineups and parlays. Now there's an NBA parlay that I'll be doing once a week that I'll be posting once a week through Fliff on social media. So you can actually do teams and stuff. I'll be showcasing one of my parlays once a week there, and that'll be on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube via YouTube Shorts, and all those ways you can find a lot of our content right in YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, you know the drill on that. All at True Sports Crew on that. But yeah, I'll be showcasing more NBA lineups throughout the week. Or 2 of the last 3 days, there's lineups up from slates I was taking. So if you want to check those out, you can check them out in there. And then of course, once a week, I'll be highlighting, more of like the explanation, right, the intuition behind those lineups basically. And today we'll be we'll be crafting a lineup, but just letting you know there is an NBA parlay out there that I did with team. They're gonna be team parlays. They're gonna be like money line spread, over unders. You can do all of that on Fliff. So that link is on that post on Instagram, and I'll be putting that link down below for future episodes, so you can go check that out. But we'll get through the lineups here. So, like I said, the first game, there's a lot of games, but the first game's at 2:00 today. That's with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Detroit Pistons. Detroit is the home team there. And what we're looking at overall the lineup here, right? Joel Embiid is out today. So when that happens, makes you wonder. PJ Tucker also out. So Montrezl Harrell is going to be starting at the 5 spot. So DFS wise, Montrezl Harrell brings ultimate value, right? Jalen Duren is the guy for Detroit, but game time decision. There's a lot of question marks still with this game. Certainly, I like Harrell right away. I mean, that's gonna be the guy I'm gonna suggest to you, right? Oh, like him and Tobias Harris. I think at the 4 and 5, they're gonna get some good minutes. I might say Melton over Harris though in terms of value. Depends where you play. Depends what price you're gonna get. So just keep those guys in mind. Montrezl Harrell, I might remember, is that guy who I'm highlighting right away. Now with Portland, they travel to Toronto to face the Raptors. And Raptors injury report, Otto Porter's the lone man out. And then for Portland, we have some game time decisions with Hrusov Nurkic, Gary Payton second, and Nasir Little and Winslow are out. But it's mostly the same starting 5 for Portland. I'm not sure if anyone stands out to me in this game in terms of DFS. I think you're gonna get better opportunity. You're gonna get like better stacks in future games. There's a lot of guys out in some injury reports, but so we'll move to the next game here. We'll go to the 11-29 Charlotte Hornets. They travel to Indiana, face the Pacers. Pacers were one of those teams they were one of the money line teams we took in the parlay, as I do like the Pacers today, although Benedict Mathurin game time decision, with Charlotte, Kelly Oubre's out, and it looks like Gordon Hayward won't be playing, so it's going to be that similar starting 5, but I think Miles Turner for me is probably the guy. If you're not, again, I'm giving you another center. The guards aren't necessarily there for me yet, but I would consider Halliburton and Miles Turner together, a stack on the same team, just with how much Halliburton passes. Honestly, that's the only there are a few players I will stack in DFS, but when you have a guy who averages as many assists as Halliburton does, right, and gets in the double-digit assist mark, high percentage of games played, so I will definitely say Tyrese Halliburton and a Miles Turner stack could work and probably will work today. So Brooklyn and Miami's that next one. Miami's injury report this whole year has been filled up. But this one, in terms of starters, Hero's a game time decision. Looks like he'll play at Adebayo also, but maybe monitor Haywood Highsmith. Potentially might be your starter at the 3 spot today, with Jovic, Martin probably out, and also Duncan Robinson's out. I actually would consider their Haywood Highsmith as, a potential guy. That's like one of your value plays right there. Haywood Highsmith forward spot. Lock it in. And then with Brooklyn, of course you can take KD on that, but Royce O'Neal might be a guy to take tonight. Just looking at minutes and opportunity. I think he's going to get some good opportunity, right? If he plays, majority of the game, which I think he will. I think that's going to be good news for you. We're going to go to Utah and Memphis now, and this game is at Memphis. I'm looking at it. Colin Sexton's is the lone guy out for Utah, so similar 5 there. But with Memphis, it gets interesting. So Danny Green's out, Brandon Clark's out, John Morant and Steven Adams are game time decisions. So it's like, okay, well, they don't go. It's going to be. Are you taking Desmond Bain? Are you taking John Conchar? Not sure. I do think, though, for this, like how I would approach this game, because again, game time decisions. This is 5:00 Central start. You certainly can't really bank on having some of these players in, because there's not many games left after this. There's 4, but I just stay cautious with Morant and Adams with that. But I think Desmond Bain or Dylan Brooks, I think I like their matchups today the most, where I think they would thrive here on Sunday, get the win. But that's where I'm at in that one. Minnesota, Houston. Anthony Edwards is a game time decision. Naz Reid is a game time decision. And then we know Cat's out. So it gets interesting because they're playing Houston. Houston has nobody out. And this other 5 is the same 5 as usual. I'll tell you for Houston right away. I think Jabari Smith has a great matchup tonight. I know Rudy Gobert is there, so that's kind of something. But again, Alperen Sengun's not the greatest shooter, so not sure how it works out. But so I'm probably avoiding Sengun tonight. But I'm looking at Jabari Smith, and I think he can put up a nice game tonight at the 4 spot with Houston. In terms of Minnesota, if I'm taking anyone there, I might take D'Angelo Russell. I think that's the guard I'd consider, but I'm not looking at any other player probably with them. Dallas and OKC. OKC is favored to win this one against Dallas. That might surprise you, but again, there's on some uncertainty. Luka Doncic is a game time decision, and it looks like he unfortunately won't be playing, at least what I'm seeing. But what that means for you is it means you're getting value there with Spencer Dinwiddie and Tim Hardaway in this one, the 1 and 2 guys for Dallas. Otherwise, Maxi Kleber's out, Josh Green, Dorian Finney-Smith. So these main starters are out. Again, we're hoping these guys can get back on the court, right? With Luka, of course, generational talent, and then these other guys, right? Want them to be healthy, and we wish them the best. But with Reggie Bullock, he tends to get some good opportunity in games like these at the 3 spot. Lou Dort, though, potentially could be matched up on him. So I don't know if I necessarily like that play as much, but what I'm more interested in this one again is the opportunity and the minutes that Dinwiddie and Hardaway are playing. So I think you choose one of those guys, and that's one of your guards. So that's how I'd approach Dallas. I'd be taking one of those guards. And then with OKC, I'd be looking at. So they have 2 Jalen Williams who are probably going to be starting, right? It's Jalen with an I, Jalen with an E. And I'd be looking, I think in this one, I'd be looking at Jalen with an E. It looks like he's going to be starting at the 4, right? They're dealing with some injuries. OKC is. So That's how I'd approach that. Cleveland and Phoenix. So, Phoenix. Devin Booker's out. Jay Crowder's out. Cameron Payne's out. Chris Paul, game time decision. Cameron Johnson, game time decision. So, what this means, this probably for me means I might be taking the value play with Landry Shamet, or I'll be going with potentially Mikal Bridges. Those are probably the two guys I'm looking at. Chris Paul, if he plays, probably won't be taking him. There's too many valuable guards here tonight, so I'd be looking at the 2 and 3 spot with Shamet and Bridges, fill those up. But with Cleveland, it looks like, it's a similar starting five for them. I like that matchup. I like Evan Mobley's matchup tonight over Torrey Craig. I think that's going to be, a potential matchup to exploit in this one for Cleveland. But so Mobley potentially at the 4 for me. Otherwise, we got a few more games here, and Atlanta and the Clippers of Los Angeles. That's in LA. So Paul George is a game time decision. Luke Kennard and Nick Batum are as well. I do think, though, for this, I'm looking at both centers in this one. Clint Capella's out for Atlanta, so Onyeka Okongwu and Ivica Zubac are both going to probably get a lot of minutes. When I say a lot of minutes, I'm talking 30 plus. I think these guys are going to play a lot in terms of opportunity tonight. So I'd probably be taking Okongwu over Zubac, but that's probably where I'm at in that. And so I'm going to, with that game, not sure if there's any other guy I'd take. Of course, Kawhi. If Paul George is out tonight, Kawhi's going to be your guy. But let me go over some of other value plays I might have missed. I talked about Jabari Smith. That was it was him, Dinwiddie, Hardaway in there, Okongwu. Those guys kind of like my top ones. Some guys I missed, though, with Indiana. We're going to head back up there. If you want to not take my stack of Halliburton, Turner, or neither of those guys, Andrew Nembhard is going to probably get some good minutes, barring Benedict Matherin's status, right? I think Nembhard might be getting 25, 30 minutes tonight. So I would keep that one in mind. Terry Rozier's coming off an insane game. And he's going to be against, that's like the matchup there at the 2 spot, but not sure what I think about Rozier. I know some people might be taking him, banking on another hot game. I'm a little bit more skeptical on that, but I talked about Melton as well, Anthony Melton. And last guy I want to talk about with Miami Heat. So it'd be Victor Oladipo off the bench, or Oladipo might be starting over Highsmith. Oladipo if Hero doesn't start, or if Hero's out for the game, as he is a game time decision. So I just keep that in mind. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I got here on the lineup side. And that's going to wrap it up here for myself, Drew Skyberg, here on this Sunday morning. Good luck on your parlays, and I'll be back tomorrow night for an episode of Drew's Sports Crew. Again, that will be episode 96 of Drew's Sports Crew. We're almost at episode 100. I'll be at the Packer game tonight as well. You'll hear about that tomorrow. You'll hear about that in Journey Million on Tuesday around 4 o'clock. And yeah, have a great Sunday, everyone. That'll wrap it up here for myself, Drew Skyberg. Thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew's Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.